Alrighty guys, this is Andrew, and welcome back to another episode of Wednesday wInbox, the mailbox series that I do every week talking about Overwatch current events and sometimes beyond. I know last week we kind of touched upon a subject that wasn't Overwatch, as well as answer your questions that you guys sent in from last week, and we're going to feature a special clip of the week, win of the week, so they say, for this episode, which is apparently the 7th episode, I think. Wow, time really flies. But anyways, as opposed to any sort of large sweeping changes from Blizzard for Overwatch, this week we really have a collection of smaller stuff, new features that people are asking about that Jeff Kaplan had addressed in the forum. So I don't know, I figured you guys may be interested in some of this. Starting us off though, there was a new patch that went live that had a bunch of bug fixes, one of them being Hanzo's arrows appearing to be sonic arrows even though they're regular arrows. A lot of you guys pointed that out in my previous videos, but what is more interesting is Blizzard's response to the allegations that Icon Vault is too defense heavy, particularly the first objective. Now what they did was increase the speed of the payload at which it travels, and a lot of people are saying, but guys, it's the first objective. But Jeff Kaplan kind of responded saying, no, not really. Statistics show that you guys are able to capture that first point 75% of the time. And just for comparison, out of all the hybrid maps, only King's Row had a higher capture rate on the first point, which is 82.8. Hollywood, Nambani, they all have 72.9 and 73.1. So this all kind of seems like Icon Vault within the realm of reasonableness, right, as far as capturing that first point. In my opinion, like, yeah, the first objective on Icon Vault can be pretty daunting and scary, but once you figure out the flanking routes, which by the way, if you don't know the flanking routes, please for the love of God, figure out the flanking routes. Once you figure that out, it's much easier to kind of get around that first point. I don't know, that's just my opinion, and I'm glad either way that Jeff Kaplan and the team are going off and staying true to the hard numbers and statistics, because, you know, anecdotal evidence can be, yeah. Anyway, so moving on to the next thing. Two new features that will eventually make it to Overwatch, most likely, possibly, are leaderboards and clan tags. Now, I don't think this is necessarily new news, but in case you guys missed it, a clan system or guild system like what they have in World of Warcraft is something they're interested in implementing, but Jeff Kaplan made this post back in May, and it's now, what, September? I have a feeling that it's probably a little lower on the totem pole as far as priority features. The other one that I want to touch base on is leaderboards. Now what they mean by this is like a ranking system where you can see the top X amount of players. I know certain websites like what is it, Master Overwatch and Overbuff and things like that, they have like a top number of players set by, I don't know, whatever it is, KDA, eliminations, whatever stat you want. And it looks like Blizzard's going to be implementing their own official leaderboard into the game, which in my opinion is going to be great. Not that I'll ever end up on a leaderboard. I don't think I have the skill to get up there, but it would just kind of be nice to see the number of people who are better than me. Anyways, moving on. If you're ever curious about how many people work on Overwatch on the dev team, Jeff Kaplan actually took the time to write this gigantically long post about all the different departments and teams they have working on this game. If you want to read the entire post, I'll link it down in the description, but kind of TLDR version, it's around 100 for the core group. You got the art, engineering, production, design team, audio team. We got some business operations in there. And then on the other side, you have QA, quality assurance, and the community team. Those are pretty self-explanatory. Beyond the immediate team of 100, you have the story and franchise development team that do the animations for the what do you call them? Animated shorts. There you go. As well as the Overwatch comics and all the merchandise. And then beyond that, you have the licensing group, and then the esports team. I mean, it seems like a huge freaking machine there that's working on Overwatch, which is great because that just tells me that Blizzard has invested a lot into this game, which hopefully means that, you know, they're going to be continually pumping out high quality content at a decent pace, hopefully, right? But yeah, if you guys want to read the whole article, be sure to link it down, or I'll be sure to link it down in the description below. You guys aren't gonna be linking this. What am I even saying? Anyways, moving on to the next section of this video, and that is your questions. Now, I'm gonna kind of scroll back a couple weeks because 2 weeks ago, you guys asked a bunch of questions and I wasn't able to answer hardly any of them. So I want to kind of dig deep and go back 2 weeks just to kind of make sure I do another run through to make sure I answer at least a couple of more interesting ones, and I'll kind of hopefully one day catch up here because you guys ask a bunch of good questions. If you want to ask a question to be featured potentially in another video, and probably the next Wednesday wInbox, let me know down in the comments. I love to kind of go through them, as you guys can probably tell. First question comes from Randy Getro, and he asks, what gives you the courage to make videos? And I wouldn't exactly call it courage. Then again, I'm not exactly sure what answer you're looking for here, but I guess starting on YouTube or really any sort of public platform, you kind of have to get comfortable with yourself, right? Like, one of the things that a lot of people struggle with in the beginning is listening to their own voice. They're like, oh, that sounds so weird. I don't sound like that. What the fuck? What's wrong with my mic? But like, eventually you kind of get used to it. You just kind of just grind through it. For me personally, I don't know, I guess I thought it was weird the first couple of times, and I just kind of not thought about it and just focused on making the video. If you meant like talking to thousands of people, like, you have to bear in mind that I'm yelling into a mic. I'm not on stage. If I was on stage, I would be a nervous wreck. But like, talking to a mic makes it a little bit easier, not gonna lie. Anyways, moving on to the next question. This one is from Low Key Logic. What is your favorite food? Wow, that's a tough one. It's gotta be Japanese food, man. I love Japanese food. I love sushi. I love ramen. Though I also like pho. Like, I'm sort of like a noodle nerd here. I love any type of noodle, pasta, even Italian food. I love Italian food as long as it's noodles. So I feel like the most highest concentration of noodle type dishes are like in more Asian type cuisine. So I love pho. I love udon. I love ramen. Like that kind of noodle-y goodness, good stuff. But then again, I'm not like a noodle-only diet kind of guy. You know, I eat pretty much a little bit of everything. I'm not that picky. I guess I do stay away from curry. Yeah, I think that's like the only exception. Anyways, moving on to the next question. N. Durden asks, what is your most embarrassing moment? Ooh, this is a tough one. I have a multitude of embarrassing moments. Though conveniently, I can't remember a lot of them. Maybe it's because my brain is suppressing those horrid memories. But the latest one I can tell you was when I was at work at my new job, and I was trying to like make friends with people around the office. So I saw this one guy who would hang around my corner. I shouldn't say my corner. It's like, I don't own this corner. He's been there before I got there, but we kind of worked in the same space, is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I run to this dude at in the break room at some point, and I introduced myself thinking like, hey, I can make a new friend, and like we end up talking like small talk, you know, just kind of bullshitting. And at one point, like, I was just trying to break the ice. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but I decided like, hey, I want to try to be funny. So I was not funny, but like clever. I don't even know what I was trying to be, honestly, guys. Oh, it just makes me cringe a little bit just talking about this. But at one point, I just kind of blurted out. I was like, yeah, dude, like, I started on February 29th. And then he's like, oh, yeah, that's cool, man. Like, he was doing other stuff, like making his coffee or whatever. And I continued. I was like, yeah, it's great because, you know, I only have my anniversary every 4 years. And, like, I could just tell he didn't, like, maybe he wasn't listening or he just didn't get it. But he was like, oh, that's cool, man. And I was like, yeah, you could get it because the 29th it happens only every 4 years. Yeah. I just, this is triggering. Delivery, guys, delivery. I swear, if I had delivered that a bit more confidently, more smoothly, it probably would have sounded a lot cooler. But he was nice about it. He made some joke about how his friend was like actually like had his birthday on the 29th or something, and they all make fun of him because he's like actually 8, or no, he's not actually 8, but like technically, like you're what? You know what? See, I can't even explain his joke properly, but you guys get what I mean. God damn, this episode is slowly just disintegrating into a shitstorm. Anyways, before the wheels fall off of this episode, let's just close this out with the win of the week. This time provided by Capital City Devil, and this clip is also on Reddit. So if you guys see this clip again, don't hate. It's a good clip though. It's a great clip. Anyways, he's on Farah in King's Row, flying under for the submarine, but gets pinned out of nowhere. And wow, that scream was just too classic. Let's see it from Reinhardt's point of view here. He charges, randomly falls into the Pharah. Man, that catch, and that seriously should not have connected. But holy cow, guys, it was a pretty hilarious clip, in my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have a clip of your own that's pretty hilarious, or buggy, or just derpy, or maybe epic plays, so I try to stay away from those, because, I don't know, they tend to be just play the game ultimates. Not hating on play the game ultimates, just I like the more entertaining, weird shit a little more. So be sure to send me those, and directions will be in the description on where to email it to and all that good stuff. Hope you all enjoyed this episode of the Wednesday wInbox, and I guess until next time, guys, I'll see you around.